The bells, the chimes, I should say, just went. I tried to click it and it was like taking a while to go live. So maybe you heard the last little bit. So hi to everybody. I'm just double checking this. Yeah, I'm just gonna look. Yes, yes, yes. Fantastic. Lovely to see everybody here. And oh my gosh, it's so exciting. Hello, everybody's saying hello, hello, hello. Mine's being a bit strange. There we go. Now it's working. Yeah, sometimes technology, but there we are. Greetings all. Look at this. Look at how many virtual volunteers I have here from the Alberta Research Project, which is so exciting. I know, Tammy, I agree. I love it when everybody can catch a live. It's 9 o'clock my time. So let everybody know where you're tuning in from and what time it is where you are right now. Look at, oh my gosh, look at, we have so many. I'm just gonna basically shout out, do say hi, do say time zones, where you're from, all that good stuff. I wanna say hi to, I know we've got lots of people here from Group Celtic, we've got Group Oceanic, we have Group Adriatic, lots of you on there, Group Majestic, Team Britannic, we've got Team Queen Mary, Team Regina. So, wow, look, all of you. So also those of you, gosh, there's so many, Rebecca, Jennifer, lots of you, Paula, Tammy, everybody else, because there's so many people coming through. Let everybody know in the chat what team you're on for the Alberta Research Project as well. Just give your team a huge shout out here. So thank you guys so much for joining me live. I'm going to try to do this now that my life has, I wouldn't say slowed down, but I would say it's a little bit more structured moving forwards, that I can hopefully have lives every twice a week is what I want to try to do. Twice a week. So we've got a lot to get through. First and foremost, I want to get through, well, I wouldn't say it's going to come first, but it's going to come eventually in this live. The second half of Alberta's diary that she wrote between the ages of 11 and roughly 13. So I'm going to start to read that. If you missed the first reading of that, which was last week, don't worry. It's not like you missed everything. I just start at a certain date, and we'll hopefully finish off the diary this evening or this morning or this afternoon, wherever you are. But obviously, I'm really excited because somebody out there sent me something, and it's been actually really exciting to share this information. I shared a tiny, tiny bit with the team leaders for on the Alberta Research Project. So all those different White Star Liner ship names, cruise names that I just called out, each of those groups have a team leader. And so I didn't give too much away. I said to all of them, didn't I? I said, you have to come on tonight. But it is quite funny because when I received this, I thought, you've got to, somebody emailed me and said, and if it was you who emailed me, I like, sometimes I'm very careful about people's privacy. Do let everybody know down below. They said, I think you're related to Alberta. And I said, okay, well, send me the information. And just so I could check it out. And sure enough, we are. I know, oh, it's so exciting. Look at everybody chatting amongst each other. This is just brilliant. Yes, this is my Princess Diana sweater. I am gonna, before I get into my relationship with Alberta, I love all these, everybody's saying hi. I'm gonna comment on a couple of things here. The jumper. So this jumper probably is very recognizable to many people. This was the famous jumper. I don't want to say infamous. I'm going to say famous jumper that Princess Diana wore. And it's the black sheep right here jumper. This is from a wool mill in Scotland. Hers was knitted by the same people who knitted this. So this is not the original one. I think that one actually just recently sold at either Sotheby's or Christie's for like a lot of money, but it was on sale. But this was knitted by at the same place. And the reason I have this is because I did about filmed about a year and a half ago, or maybe it's coming on 2 years. Gosh, time flies. I was a contributor to a 6-part documentary series called Diana on CNN Originals. And as a gift, they gave all contributors a jumper. So yeah, and it's so cold here that this is unbelievably warm, everybody. It's unbelievably warm. So I've been wearing this. And I also just want to say a huge shout out. Barbara, I can see, is on here. Barbara, I'm wearing your lovely fingerless gloves that you sent me, which are gorgeous. And I thought they looked perfect with the outfit today. So yes, here we go. Look at this love that's happening between everybody here. This is so wonderful. It's really nice for me to see this. I am going to eventually, it's going to take not that long, but a little bit to get the Wi-Fi fixed in the Muniment room so I can start going live in the Wi-Fi. But again, remember this building, the walls are this thick. So as I'm sitting in the dining room right now, you can't see it, but I have doors open on either side. There's 3 doors in this room, and I have all 3 doors open so that the Wi-Fi connection can travel through the doors so that I don't have to close the doors, and then we would have some buffering, I think, something like that. This is brilliant. Yes, I think a lot of us might be related to Alberta. I'm seeing that down below. So should I just spill the beans? So I was sent this, and for me it's really fascinating because I'm researching Alberta's family, but you know, I do have an interest in my own family. So if I scroll down to me, there I am, Julie Jean Fisher. That was my maiden name, Fisher, from Sugar Grove, Illinois. And I go 1 up from me. And so this is all on the maternal side. So Alberta and I related through my maternal side. And it was nice for me just to see names within my family that I've actually heard before when I was much younger. So I have my mom, and then I have my mom's mom, so my grandma, and then I have my great grandma. And I remember her name was May. I love that name. I love that name, May. And it's spelled M-A-E. So it's spelled M-A-E, and I think it's such a great name. And her maiden name, hear me out, because this is where really kind of the line starts. So my great grandmother's maiden name was Marlett, M-A-R-L-E-T-T-E. And so we're all still in Illinois here, all still in Illinois. And then her father, which would have been my great-great-grandfather, was Oscar, love that name, Marlett. And then my great-great-great-grandfather was Richard Marlett. There we go. So Richard Marlett, my 3rd great-grandfather, if you like, was alive around the same, was alive the same time that Alberta was alive. So when I look at this PDF here, I can see that Richard Marlett and Alberta are sort of alive. My 3rd great-grandfather and Alberta. Same with my 2nd great-grandfather. They were alive roughly, they were alive at the exact same time as well. And even my great-grandmother, Alberta and my great-grandmother were alive the same time. And even my grandmother was alive the same time as Alberta. And even my mother was alive during the same time as Alberta. So to me, that was really quite interesting to say, wow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, and I'm missing one. And even my 4th great-grandmother was alive the same time Alberta. That's pretty good right there, right? So going back to my 3rd great-grandfather, okay, I'm going to try to explain this, and I think I can pretty well. My 3rd great-grandfather, Richard Marlett, right? So his mother was Sarah Goodwin. So Sarah Goodwin obviously married Richard's father, and that's where the name Marlett came in. But we've got to look now at Richard Marlett, that would be my 3rd great-grandfather. So great-great-great-great-grandfather. I'm going to do 4 there. His mother, Sarah Goodwin, that's where it all starts to happen. Sarah Goodwin's father was Chauncey Goodwin, and this is really where the connection starts to come in. And we're at basically roughly the end of the 18th century here. So, and the beginning of the sort of end and the middle of the 19th century. So end of the 18th up to the middle of the 19th century. Sarah Goodwin, which would be my great, 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 great 5 grandmother. Her father, Chauncey Erastus Goodwin, love that name. He's number 6. We're getting there, everybody. And then we've got his father, Jesse Goodwin. So it's pretty much a direct line. And then that was Jesse Goodwin Jr. And then I'm on 8, his father, another Jesse Goodwin. Nearly there, everybody. Then his father, I'm on 9, Abraham Goodwin. There we go. And then his father, I'm on 10. I'm now in Connecticut, everybody. In Connecticut, 10. Okay? 1 more to go. And then his father, 11. There we go. William Goodwin. And that's in 1629 is when William Goodwin was born. So we're in the 1700s, we're in the 17th century or 17th century, still in Connecticut. And then 12. I'm at 10, 12. Ozias Goodwin. Okay? So let's pause, everybody. Okay, I think hopefully you followed that. I did practice this before I came online. So Ozias Goodwin, my great, 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 great grandfather married Mary Woodward. And that she, there we go, had married Mary Woodward. So you've got Ozias Goodwin and Mary Woodward, and they married, okay? So from that, you have, remember back down, we're gonna go down to William Goodwin. So he's my 11th great-grandparent, if you like. 11th grandfather. There we go, I'll do it that way. William Goodwin married Hannah Goodwin, right? So they then married, and that, incorrect. Just scrap that last 15 seconds. Ozias Goodwin, I just counted him out, married Mary Woodward. Sorry, she became obviously a Goodwin. There we go. Then they had a son, William Goodwin, and that's where my line starts. They had a daughter named Hannah Goodwin. So Hannah and William were brother and sister, and Hannah Goodwin is where Alberta's line starts. Hooray! There we go. So that is how I had to figure that one out. So it goes all the way back to really my 10th great grandfather is my line. His sister is Alberta's line. I think that makes sense to everybody. And through her, then I'll kind of go through her. She, Hannah Goodwin, married a Pitkin. They then had a son named William Pitkin. Then then they've had, it looks like, it starts to go sort of cousins here, if that makes sense. So they basically were getting into, all of a sudden, into Alberta's cousins. But it does kind of work, everybody. So I'm just going to try to make it a little bit better there. So there we go. They're all in Connecticut. And it basically goes down to William Pitkin married somebody, doesn't say who they married. William Pitkin had a daughter. She married, and her last name then became Wells. And then Martha Wells had a son named William Wells. And then there's another Martha Wells. And then from Martha Wells married somebody with the last name of Hale. And I do have this I did double check this in the muniment room. And that's where Lucy Hale begins. So Lucy Hale married a Sturgis, and they had a son, Solomon. And I think you've heard me, Lucy Hale married Solomon Sturgis, and they had a son, William Sturgis. So Lucy Hale, I have that line. Solomon Sturges, if we remember correctly, he was the one who really brought the wealth into the family. So Lucy Hale married Solomon Sturges. They had a son, William Sturges, and then obviously William married Betty, and they had Alberta. Did I do it all right? I think I've done it all right, everybody. If you want to know questions, let me know. Do let me know down below. How on earth did I figure this out? Well, Deborah, it took me a while, but once YouTube Lives gets a little bit better, which it is, and I'm going to be able very, very soon to start to actually put bits on my computer and then put it up on the screen so you can actually see it. It's almost like vision mixing. So Luke and I are just figuring that right out, but Alberta has a family tree of the Hale side. Of course she does, because she was a genealogist herself. She was an archivist herself. So I did check that, everybody, beforehand. And that's more of the Lucy Hale side. But what it did answer that question for me was that basically Martha Wells was Lucy Hale's mother, and Martha married a Hale, and I can't remember his name, and then they had a daughter, Lucy Hale. Lucy Hale then married Solomon Sturges. They had a son, William Sturges. Woo, everybody. So the big names, I think, on my side are Goodwin. Yeah, there's a long stream of Goodwin. And then on Alberta's side, it's actually Wells. So it actually is Wells on her side, and that's just through marriage. Yeah, it's pretty amazing, isn't it? Oh my gosh, see, everybody's so exciting. It's just, yeah, I know some of you do remember Lucy Hale. I know it is, you're right, it is pretty diluted. That's exactly right. Someone just said that, Terry said that, it's a good point. But it's quite exciting, everybody. I don't know. I just think it's really, really exciting. And I think, I like the name May as well, M-A-E. I think it's brilliant. So I don't know, I just get excited about this because I think that Alberta and I have so many, oh, Victoria's on. I want to say hi to Victoria. Victoria, hi. I just think it's so exciting because I feel that Alberta and I are so connected in just crazy ways, everybody. And even if you're not a yogi, for me, I think that's the biggest connection. I think when I initially started to research Alberta, I thought, wow, we're both from Chicago. How cool is that? Wow, we both had 4 children. You know, that just is a sort of a fluke, if you like. But then when I started to uncover the Bhagavad Gita, so the Bhagavad Gita in the world of yoga is like one of the most ancient texts, and it's probably the most sacred of all of the ancient texts. And then we've just been reading and transcribing her diary, not the one I'm going to read today, but the diary when she, between 1899 and 1900, when she's 21, 22 years old. And Swami Vivekananda gives her as a gift the Bhagavad Gita, and I have the original one, the one that she had, that was given to her by Swami Vivekananda. I studied the Bhagavad Gita. Of course I did. I'm a yogi. That's on my, and I teach about the Bhagavad Gita on my courses. And then uncovering another book that was all about Swami Vivekananda's inspired teachings and messages. And in there, lo and behold, is a poem. And it was a facsimile that, on the poem called Peace, and it was a facsimile in Swami Vivekananda's writing. And it says this is a facsimile of Swami Vivekananda's writing, and he wrote it on September 21st, 1899. I think it was 1899. And lo and behold, I look in Alberta's diary, and there it is, entry, September 1st, 1899. And she describes this poem, this exact poem, writes it out saying this poem was given, Swami wrote this poem today. Crazy, right? Just so, so exciting. So I do feel, it's just brilliant. And you all are just fantastic, just that you join me on this. And look, we've got Mary coming in here from another team, from Team Majestic. And just brilliant. So fun. So that's what I wanted. I'm glad that made sense to you. I think I actually did an all right job on that. and someone has asked me, I think if a lot of you have done, well, some of you, not a lot, have done some other different connections. And I think a couple of you from the Alberta Research Project are also a cousin of Alberta's as well. So it just goes to show you, it's so exciting. Right, now, couple of things, pause. A few things I want to update you on, which is really, really important before I go into the diary. I want to update you on what is happening with Alberta's letters. Number one, the most amazing virtual volunteers, most of them are on here now, are transcribing, and they're like pros now. All of you guys are like pros. It's amazing. And it's really fun to be able to come when the transcription comes back to properly read Alberta's letters. We're getting into a little bit of George's letters. His writing is even worse than Alberta's. Can you imagine? However, I'm in conversations now with a proper transcribing platform company in Austria. And there are ways now, and I think I said this last week, that we can train the AI. So where we are with that is this. Today, I submitted 30 pages to this company in Austria. And this same company is used by, I did a lot of due diligence, obviously. It's used by Cambridge, it's used by Oxford, it's used by Harvard. So for all of their archives, it's very highbrow. And right now they're taking these 30 pages, and they're just going to see if a current AI transcribing system software that they have right now will be able to do the job. Now, if not, then no problem, because they're going to need about 500 pages, and the more that we can give them, the better, of Alberta's transcribed writing, and then they'll be able to create Alberta's own AI, if you like, to be able to transcribe the rest of the letters. And how that will happen with our virtual volunteers is, once that letter, if this all works out, once that letter comes back transcribed, and they can do it quite quickly, those will then go to the team leaders. They will distribute to the rest of their team. They will look at those letters and double check them, and also put in the source citations, because obviously the platform won't be able to do that. They can put in the source citation, then send it back to me, and I can upload it and keep it privately on, and they will host it as well. For the time being, it's going to be private. So what I'm looking at right now, a couple of things, is number one, looking at grant applications. That is a whole new world to me. But one of the team leaders, Michelle, who's been doing this for years, and I mean, this is her livelihood, is working with public and private archives and collections. She's put me when I say in touch, has sent me some material on different possible grant applications. I'm a novice in this area, so I have forwarded these grant applications on to Mick. Many of you will remember that Mick has helped us out here at Mapperton, and he is worked for the National Trust for a really long time, and as a favor, he's going to be, and he's done a lot of grant applications and knows about this, so he's going to be looking through these different ones and deciding if there's one that, or even two or three, that I could possibly look at getting a grant. And you're going to ask for what, and I'm going to explain for what. Getting a grant, and he will then help me write the grant application. Writing is not one of my strengths as far as grant applications go. It is my husband's strength, but he's busy writing all the time grant applications, so he's not going to have time to do this. So what I want to say is, but the grant application will just cover a small amount of what I'll be looking for to train the AI and to host the letters onto this platform. It's a big subscription, and it will cost around, including VAT, around, I think, 600 euros a month to host it. So what I'm doing right now is hopefully get the grant applications, but I'm going to be going live twice a week, hopefully, and all the video ad revenue. So please do support this project by watching the ads. All the video ad revenue from my Alberta lives will go towards the funding of that. But also there we go. When I have events like the Alberta Unknown American Heiress presentation that I did last week, the funding from that will go, or the ticket sales from that will go towards this project. And you've asked for it. I've got it. Well, I would love you all to come on the Alberta Sturges American Heiress Holiday Supper Club. We are back, everybody. You're hearing it here first. That's right. So I've confirmed with Chef Joe, we are back. And again, the proceeds from that, after I do pay Joe for her time, will go towards this as well. And you can always buy me a cup of coffee. All cups of coffee as well. It's still live. Goes towards bits of Alberta research. But if I'm funding for something in particular, like the Louisa portraits, which we did get the other two back, and many of you helped with that as well. Which I should be getting those 2 miniatures back, so we'll have all 6 of Louisa's miniatures. But right now, I will change that on Buy Me a Coffee. This is going to go towards basically the archive, and this is in sort of a really never-ending, not never-ending, but for the time being, this will be a good 2 years that I will need to continue to have funds for a monthly amount. So, which is really exciting. Brilliant. So, if you're interested in coming on the Alberta Sturges Holiday Supper Club, guess when we decided to do it? Joe and I looked at dates this week with each other. We were going to try to do it before Christmas, but we also think that everybody's really busy over Christmas. So we thought we would do it on December 30th. So number one, you can have recipes ready to cook the next night if you want to for a New Year's Eve party, right? So it's going to be very New Year's Eve, ringing in the new year. I have several diary entries, everybody, from Alberta's New Year that I'll be reading out then. You'll get a copy of all 5 recipes. They're going to be very, very festive. There will be a vegetarian option as well, so don't worry about that. And that's so nice, Charlie. And so do look at that ticket. It's going to be super fun. If you've never done the American Heiress Supper Club before, it's live, it's online, Luke is there, Joe is there. We're cooking together the 5 recipes, and it's super fun. And then we all taste it afterwards. But we thought we would do it December 30th. It's a Saturday. We're going to do it from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. my time. So that's noon until 2 p.m. New York time, Eastern Daylight Time. I thought December 30th would be perfect, right? It's a good time. And all of her recipes are really healthy. So again, it's before you all start your New Year's whatever resolutions, right? You can still eat and feast because it's December 30th. So really, really fun. So do check out that link. I've stuck it in the chat here. You guys are awesome. It's so exciting. I'm so excited about this. And yes, I just want to see if there's anything else. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Yeah, buy me a cup of coffee. I'll stick it in here as well, everybody. But I will change that so that, because we have raised the funds, thank you. In particular, I know Shauna was, I think it's this one. Let me just double check my buy me a coffee. I think it's this. Donated, lots of you donated to that, and I will be collecting those 2 miniatures I think next week. So I'll have 6. My plan with that, everybody, is I saw timeout. I'm going to do the diary in a second. Okay. I saw, I was able in the photo albums to zoom in when the 8th Earl was around. Hear me out on this. This is what's crazy. Zoom in on a photo of, I think it was like, it wasn't the yellow drawing room, but it was the smaller drawing room. And there's a picture of Louisa. We have that portrait of Louisa still in the staircase hall. And I really had to scan it and zoom in. Below the picture of Louisa were 6 miniatures in a frame. So I think but they were, and it makes sense. The miniatures that were in the frame were in smaller frames that were square or rectangular. So if you remember the miniatures before, and if not, check it out on Buy Me a Coffee, they were actually square. So as if, Louisa, the sixth countess, had painted, which she did, the portraits that she saw around Hinchingbrooke of women in their frames, but then somebody later on put them in oval frames, which didn't really make sense to me. I then saw below Louisa, and in fact, I'll stick it on Buy Me a Coffee, a frame, and within the frame, 6 different smaller square frames, which I believe would have been the miniatures that Louisa painted. They're below her. Yeah, it's crazy, right? So what I want to do is I probably want to take those 6 miniatures, because they're not in very nice frames anyway, recreate in gilt wood the 6 frames and then put them in another frame. How does that sound to everybody? Right? Sounds good. Yes, we're going to give American measurements for the recipes. Absolutely. Now, do I know what recipes I'm going to be making? Yes. Yes, yes, no, I'm just kidding. I'm discussing it with Joe tomorrow. So even if you sign up right now, you're not going to have the 5 recipes yet, but you can sign up, and then probably by this weekend, I will be sending you out the recipes. I know I'm doing Prince Regent's Punch. I can tell you that right now. That is our drink, which was made for the Prince Regent. And it was his drink of choice. So when he would go from big house to big house, grand house to grand house, he preferred this special punch. I don't know if it's that special, but it was named then after him, Prince Regent's Punch, and he preferred it to wine. So when he would come to dine at and stay at, these big other aristocratic royal family houses, they would always have Prince Regent's Punch. Isn't that very, very cool? I know, wasn't that salad dressing excellent? Oh my gosh, thank you, Terry. That is amazing. Look at all these orders coming through. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah, so anyway, that was just a little sideline there. Should I get started on the diary? I think I should. All right, everybody grab your cup of tea. I'm having a feel new tea. That's what I'm having. Comment down below. Let everybody know what you're drinking right now. It doesn't have to be tea. Be something stronger if you need something stronger right now. But do comment. Let everybody know what your drink of choice is. Then I want you to sit back. I'm going to pull it up. Give me a second. I would like you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Let me just pull this up. Ta-da. Comment down below. Let everybody know, because this is, one big community here, which is so much fun. Let everybody know what you are drinking. I'm just going into Google Drive. Here we are. Ta-da. Here we go. 1 second. 1 second. Pulling it up. I know exactly where it is. Ta-ta-ta. And I think that's it. Here we go. Here we go. Right. Okay, I remembered what page I was on, so let me just get to page 77. That's right, I do remember it. 77. Okay, we'll see how much we get through here. Oh, wrong diary. Sorry, everybody. Let's get the right diary up. Sorry. Here we go. I pulled up here we go. I pulled up the diary that's being transcribed right now. So that's my fault. 1 sec. Sorry, Google Drive. Here we go. Got it. I was like, this doesn't look right. And it looks much longer because the other diary is bigger and longer. And it is a lot of work. But we've got a couple people working on it, which is so exciting. So I've got Michelle and Jane working on it from Team Adriatic. Okay, all right, here we go. Yes! Let's see what everybody's drinking. Oh my gosh, love it. Decaf lavender Earl Grey. That sounds yummy, Sally. That sounds really, really yummy. By the way, for those of you, which is one thing, I know I keep talking, but from all the other transcribers out there, I will be reading your letters as well. I just want to get through these diaries, they're so exciting. Okay, here we are. So I think I was on 70. Gosh. So she basically, it's really quite sweet. Here it is. Yeah, I've got it. So we're in 18, let me just double check this. January 21st, 1890, everybody. She is in Paris. She's in Paris and she says, Monday. I must write, so 1890, she's 13 years old. I must write today about yesterday because yesterday I came home too late. So yesterday, Auntie was not well. The masseuse came and told Auntie that she must certainly not go out. Well, that she was to go to the theater to see Joan of Arc, played by, looks like Sarah Bussey. Somebody double check that for me. So as she could not go, she stayed. I might go instead of her. I was so glad. And then it says at 7:20. So we left for 126 Boulevard my French is not good. Italian is good, not French. Perriere. Anyway, good enough. As we arrived at about 7:30, then we had to wait for Grandpa. Looks like Mr. or Mademoiselle, I'm not sure, Alkin. When he came, we left for the theater in 2 carriages. And then she describes who's in the carriages. George Yu and B. Draper in one, Eunice Draper and myself in another. It was awfully nice. We laughed, so when we got to the theater, it was pouring, so we could not get out as we had lost the other carriage. At last we found them. We went in. As soon, almost as we were sitting down, the curtain opened, and it was so lovely. Act 1. And she says, and it says looks like it's Act 1. And she's describing it. She's saying, Mother and Father. She sits in it, and while she's sitting, there are lots of people, young and old. She asks a word, illegible, and she asks them what they are doing, and then they answer, and then they are running away from Francie because of, it looks like because of the wars. So I think she's describing, yeah. Then after that, they all go away, and she has her dream. One sees the vision very well. They are 2 angels, all dressed in gold, and they tell Jean, I think it's supposed to be Joan of Arc, that she would be the only one that could save the king. Okay, so then it says, Act 2. There is her drawing room, and she has with her all her ladies of waiting. Then the king comes in, and she sends her lady in waiting away. Then after that, a page comes and says that Joan of Arc is there. So the king makes a sign, and some servants come in and put 2 fine chairs together and arrange it like a king's house. Then the king takes one of the valets and puts all his own servants on that valet's, and then he himself goes and places himself at the end of the room by the other servant. Then Joan of Arc comes in and goes straight to the throne, and she is just going to bow when she sees that it is not the king. She looks around and sees the king. She went right to him and bowed. Okay, we're in Act 3, everybody. Joan of Arc fought very, and then it's illegible word. Then it says Act 4, so that was a very short act. Act 4, the crowning of the king. It is very grand, but to me it seems rather silly always kissing and bowing. Act 5, Joan of Arc is in prison. This play is so beautifully played when the judges come and see her to judge her. She is so brave. Act 6, Joan of Arc. She asks for something, it's an ineligible word, and they give her 2 pieces of wood put together. And then she cries, oh so bravely. I never shall forget the piece of Joan, she says Jeanne of Arc, but I'm going to say Joan of Arc and be very American here. And especially Sarah somebody. It is the first time I saw her and very likely the last time. So I think it might have been the woman playing Joan of Arc in the play. Sarah Bomara, look that up. Sarahbomara. I think that's who she's referring to. It was so beautifully played that we almost everybody called out, hooray, bravo. There was a gentleman before us that called out for Viva la France. I think Sarah Bomara is pretty and that she acts very well. So this must be the actress. I know some of you are researching this. How fantastic is this? Now this is interesting. Now she has a next page diary. She's got a newspaper clipping, and the clipping says W.S.Beisel to be married. Beisel is Bissell, Buffalo, New York, January 5th. The wedding of Wilson S. Beisel, the ex-law partner of Grosvenor Cleveland, and Miss Louise Sturges, then she puts in writing our cousin, of Geneva, will be celebrated on February 6th. Mr. Beisel has leased the Grosvenor Mansion on Delaware Avenue. Mr. Cleveland, it is expected, will attend the wedding. There we go, everybody. President. How fantastic is that? All right, January 21st, we're still in 1890. Today I got a letter from Mama and Papa in response to mine. They sent me their paper that is on the page. Hollister gave me some flowers this morning, so I put them here so not to lose them, but I have given them away. Okay? We are January 23rd, 1890. She's back at 50 Avenue de Lena. Many of you looked that up. How amazing is that? So it's 50 Avenue, D''Lena. Somebody sent that to me, and it makes sense because and the one that I was reading last week, where they are in Paris, she says that her aunt is on the 3rd floor. So, and there are 3 floors. Today, there was a dreadful wind today, but we have a commission to do. I'm not out on my skates. When I went in once as the wind, then I would have nothing to do, but I let myself go. But when I go against the wind, then it would take all my strength, and sometimes I would be pushed back. Oh, so she did go out on her skates. Okay, January 26th, Saturday. Today is Mama's birthday. Festives of festivals, joy above joy, happiness above happiness. I hope she will live lots of years, long, long time. January 24th, 1890. This morning, my masseuse came. This afternoon, I went with Miss Mitchell to see Napoleon's tomb. Then after that, we walked on until the River Seine. Okay, so she's still 1890, different day, but it doesn't say. She's back home. This afternoon, as I was playing something, looks like games, Aunt Yella came and asked me if I wanted to spend the night at her home. Of course I went, and here I am. Looks like Aunt Yella. But I'm not sure who that aunt is unless it's a different aunt. January 28th, 1890, Tuesday morning. Today we rode horseback and Grace and myself jumped 60 centimeters. We had a brilliant, night, okay? I just got a lovely letter from Mother as answer to my long one. She says that she likes to have long letters from me. Okay. Little sip. Paris, Friday, January 31st, 1890. Today I went to pose for the 3rd time. Miss Price is painting a picture of me for the saloon. Now, I did read about this picture. We don't have this picture, but I read about this picture being painted. I think it's by, somebody knows. It starts with an R, Roch, R-O-C-H something. That's who was... That was who, you guys are amazing. Look at this, fantastic. I think, I'm gonna put it in the chat because I think it's spelled something like this. and my French is bad. I think around that, don't quote me on that, but that is, I've seen this before. We don't have the painting though. Anyway, actually, I think it's, yes, it's the one, that makes sense. It's the one that she had painted maybe with her and her brother, which I have a copy of. But she's not saying she's being painted with Halster. Anyway, moving on. Here we go. February 1st, 1890. They're still at Avenue de Lena, Saturday morning. This morning, Jean came. She taught me some music theory and brought me some books. Les Etudes, listen, my French is terrible. I'm not even going to make it up. Di Bertini, so Studies of Bertini, a book. At least I can understand that. This afternoon, we rode horseback, but when I got to riding school, I found I had no riding jacket. Put Blanche Draper is engaged to George Alcon. They are so glad. February 9th, 1890. Today is Grace's birthday. This is obviously her best friend. She got an ivory hairbrush from her mother and 6 pretty handkerchiefs and a pot of flowers from Catherine. I wish we still gave gifts like that or received gifts like that. This afternoon, we played charades and had a lovely time. For dinner, we had a lovely cake with Grace. 12 years. Oh, that makes me happy. Then we've got, and some lovely ice cream, sorry. Now, it looks like it's Aunt Yella, so it's Y-E-L-L-A, but I don't know if that's just somebody who was working with them and they called her Aunt Yella. Gave us each a lovely little, it looks like Dresden cup with little men and women, old-fashioned, dancing on it. Would be pretty. Grace's was blue, Hall's yellow, and mine green. Aunt Yella gave them to us to keep. We left Grace's home. And then, hold on, let me just scroll down. All right, we're on January 10th. She kind of goes back and forth. So sorry, we're back to January 10th, 1890. Today we went to the doctor and we had to wait almost 2 hours before we could see him. To my joy, 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 he had allowed me to jump. It looks like jump bars. I'm so glad. We left after 3, so it was too late to go riding at 2. I'm going to ride Thursday and Saturday instead of Monday and Saturday, as we always do. Then she gives the address of the riding school. Hold on, next, here we go. All right, we're back in February. So maybe that was February 10th, actually. It could have been February 10th. Today, so we're February 13th. Today we rode horseback and had a lovely time. I jumped all by myself. I mean, without Mr. Gerard. Brilliant, jumped beautifully. Grace had, sounds like her horse's name is Separate, and there were 3 more boys there. It was lovely. So what we've just written there, what she has here, and I wish I could show you, but one day we'll be able to, is she's got lovely drawings of flowers, just little drawings of flowers, of the Madeline of the piano. So it looks like her piano teacher. It's really quite sweet. Someone's head, Marguerite. It's really sweet. And then there's a drawing of a person sitting on a chair and the words Madame Morlin, M-O-R-L-I-N, above her. And then it says there's a drawing that is scratched out and cannot be deciphered, but possibly says Joan of Arc, which would make sense. All right, we are now somehow in April 1890, April 2nd, 1890. Today I got a picture from, it looks like we're not sure, Mistress, Masseuse, not sure that I like very much. It's a very pretty one. It's a souvenir. Then we're in the 23rd of April, and she kind of goes back and forth now between French and English. So it's so she's so there is something that my little Martha Diffuse gave me, a Roman souvenir. Okay, that was in French. This is in French now. Whoa. Yeah, so it looks like of, here we go, 1890, 23rd. This is, I am in school, boarding school. I like it very much. I think that I have been in a boarding school. I feel quite proud about it. April 24th, there is a little girl here that is a boarder and she is very ill. April 26th, Marie, the sick name's child, is much worse. April 27th, Marie is worse and worse and worse all the time. April 28th, 8 o'clock, oh, in the morning, Marie has just done her first communion in bed because the doctors have despaired about her life. Well, she's the same age as Alberta. April 28th, 20 minutes past 6 at night of the year 1890, Marie, our dear little school friend, has passed away into a far better land than ours. She has found a home near God. Poor little thing, we are so sorry. She passed away just as sweet and pretty as she could be, without one single pain or anything of that sort. 30th of April, funeral of Marie. The whole boarding school went to her funeral because they liked her. She had flowers and flowers that covered her dear little coffin. The schoolgirls, all of us, gave her a crown at least 4 feet high. Some other girls, another crown. Mademoiselle Chevreau, the cross is in all her crowns and flowers. She had 1 crown with crosses and 2 enormous bouquets of white roses and lilacs. Her parents are not here. She has her sister with her, her brother in another boarding school, her mother is in Egypt, and her father is in America, so they could none of them get here in time to see her die. Oh, that's incredibly sad. May 1st. I have been writing, and what can anybody suppose? That's all and she put, I'm so glad. And then she writes May 16th, 1890, Friday. Today we went to Bessancourt, a big town in France. Looks like it is beautiful old place. We saw an old church erected 30 years before Jesus Christ that is 2,000 years old. Isn't it old? Of course, we only saw a few big stores. These were, and then it says, then she saw the church Saint-Jean. I do know Église, at least this church in French. June 13th, 1890. Okay, everybody get tissues out right now if you don't already have tissues. Yeah, I know. Now people are crying. Okay. But this is a good cry. She writes June 13th, 1890. Get ready, everybody. Hooray. Here we are at last in free America. Oh, exclamation point, oh, exclamation point, oh, exclamation point. I could never believe that I was at last in my free and own country. We are in our house in New York, 21 West 34th Street. We had a rather nice passage. Then she writes, we had a rather nice passage after all. One day the ocean was very rough. There was a lady who did not tie her chair, so one big wave came up and knocked her and her chair, but luckily she did not fall in the water. Once before already she had fallen with her chair and her child in her arm, but none of them were hurt. We have passed 30 icebergs. That was a good deal, and one today too. On board, we made acquaintances with a very nice family, Americans, of course. They were so nice. Their names are, and it's illegible word, either the Straleys or the Brayleys. There is a little girl, such a nice one, and a boy of 7, and my friend, the boy of 13. Sunday, July 2nd. Today, Gracie is leaving for America from England. July 21st, Monday. Today, we got a letter from Aunt, we're not sure, saying that Mrs. de Brossard has married, and that Grace leaves Sunday the 20th. That means yesterday. July 21st, Monday. I went to Ellis Island today and had a lovely time. I'm learning to swim tomorrow. Auntie says if I go, I may be able to swim alone. Won't it be fun, though? Tuesday, July 22nd, 1890. I'm not going to Ellis Island, as it is too far. We are too busy, for Sarah has gone home for a day as she is not well. Oh, She says this, we have green corn on the cob. Okay, Christmas. I wonder if I should save the Christmas ones. No, I won't. Christmas, December 25th, 1890. We never had such a lovely time as today. Papa gave us a lovely Christmas tree and some candles, so we trimmed the tree. We had some things left from 6 years ago, but not enough, so we bought a few and made the tree look so pretty. It has taken us since last Saturday to trim it. The tree is all ready. This morning, Hall, myself, got up at 20 minutes to 3. It was very early, but we wanted to see what we had in our stockings, so we hurriedly dressed and went down. Our stockings were full. From Anna Mitchell, I got a prayer book and a hymn book. From Mama, I got something with a silver top. It was an illegible word. From Auntie, a scissor case with 2 scissors. I also got 33 books in all. Oh, so nice. In the evening, when the Christmas tree was lighted, we received, Hall and myself, each a lovely watch from our cousins, the Pomeroys, and a chain from grandfather, and a silver pencil from Mrs. Davis. We also each got a silver match ease, looks like ease, I'm not sure, something, in the shape of a champagne bottle from the children across the street. When the tree was lighted, it looked just beautiful. There were a good many people there. Mr. McCarthy, Miss Pomeroy and her sister, and then she goes through a list, and then she says it was a lovely dinner. Monday, December 29th, 1890, we are at East Orange, visiting Anna Mitchell in the morning. We arrived at 9:45. Arthur was not there. He was having something fixed. So we went to get him to the carpenter's, and in the sleigh, then we went. Sleighing. It says something was ready at 12. We're not sure what that word is, but lunch was almost ready. So we went on the afternoon down on William Street, tobogganing. What a time we had, but soon came home, and Arthur felt so sick that he had to go to bed. He was awfully mad. No wonder. He looks like he had a decent fall, went to bed, but they all had fun at the same time. Okay, I'm just going to see. I think we're going to have to do a 3rd round, everybody. This is long. So should I just wrap it up, because we're coming up to an hour, wrapping it up with December 31st? Should I do that? 1 second. Here we go. New Year's 1891. We'll wrap it up, and then we'll do another one this week, or probably on Sunday. Happy New Year. This morning, I ran into the guests' room where Ruth and Kate were. Of course, I woke them up with Happy New Year. And then I lay in bed with them while we talked all about the next year. I mean, 1891 instead of 1890. After we talked some time, Hall came and knocked at the door. So we opened, and he came in and showed us a pair of lovely cuff buttons Cousin Cara had sent him. Also, a lovely red leather pocketbook with $1, also from Cousin Cara. Of course, I asked him where my things were, for I always get something when he does, so he gave me mine. I had a chain of silver beads and a lovely locket in silver, also a pretty pocketbook in yellow leather and blue forget-me-nots on a silver dollar inside, also from Cousin, and blue forget-me-nots on, and it looks like, and a silver dollar inside, also from Cousin Cara. We had a very nice time. Breakfast pancakes, so as to make it nicer, and maple syrup too. Then we read until 11. As soon as it was 11, we began to dress up. Oh, what fun. Ruth had on one of Auntie's pretty nightgowns at the waist, picked up by the rope of my dressing gown, and a large red silk sash thrown across my left shoulder. Also, lots of beads around her neck and lots of silver bracelets. She looked so sweet. Kate had on Mama's red silk skirt, and on her waist a black lace scarf and Mama's jet jacket, and she looked very nice, and Josephine fixed up her hair. I had on one of Mama's white embroidered petticoats with all sorts of, we think it's fishers, around my waist, and arms, then a large veil, which was about 3 yards long and 2 broad. I represented a bride, while Hall had on his, looks like it's Berkeley suit, like Berkeley suit. Would you say, yeah, we say Barclay over in England, but Berkeley. In the afternoon, us four gave a performance. We played Cinderella, then the Sleeping Beauty, then we had charades. For instance, we had the word bracelet, candlestick. A month and a half ago, we heard that Uncle Charlie died. Oh, poor Mrs. Rogers and the babes. And there we go. It's really, really good. I thought with how brilliant and sad and touching and rather wonderful everything was. Could be fasteners. There you go. Thank you. I have to look at that. Brilliant. Isn't this just fantastic? So we'll have to do a third round, everybody. I'm going to go back live again on Sunday. So I'll put that out there. I'm going to try to do Sunday and Wednesday. And we can finish off this diary. Isn't it exciting? So we're basically January 2nd. I can see where we are, 1891. Yes, I know. It was all very, very sad, wasn't it? Really, really sad. You guys are amazing. There's a picture of Sarah. Oh my gosh. Picture of Sarah Bernard playing Jeanne d'Arc in 1890 in Wikipedia. What? That must be it. Thank you very much. I'll have to go back and correct that. That's probably it because it's hard to read sometimes people's last names. Yeah. It's just fantastic. I'm just looking at comments, everybody. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Lovely. Oh, someone said, I love how you and Alberta both use the word brilliant. I do. I only started using it because I live over in this country and it's like how Americans say awesome. I know that they do because I lived there. They say brilliant over here. There we go. All right, you guys, it's 12 o'clock. Oh my gosh, it's 10 o'clock. And this is brilliant. I know the hour went so fast. So we will do the third round. We should be able to finish part 3 on Sunday. So look out for make sure you've got notifications on everybody on the YouTube channel because that's how you're going to find out. Here is the Eventbrite details. So many of you have already signed up. So thank you for that. That is amazing, amazing, incredible. You guys are incredible. So yes. Oh, look at this. See? Mick has already written me back. He's great. Gosh, he's fantastic. He is brilliant. I'll have to read that tomorrow. Yes, I will stay warm. Thanks all. Thank you all so, so much. And I'll see you all on Sunday. Bye, everybody.